YouTube, it is KG and welcome to another video. Today we are a little farther away. I'm trying new things this month, and if you're wondering how I'm trying new things all month, it is because every day for the first 30 days in August I am uploading a YouTube video. So if you don't like today's video, you can always check out yesterday's for something different, and you can press that subscribe and bell button so you will be notified exactly when I upload tomorrow. Let me know how you guys like this slightly further away view, or if you like me a little closer like I usually am. Anyways, today we are talking about AAVE. AAVE stands for African American Vernacular English. It is a way of speaking that is common in Black communities, therefore also referred to as blackcent, and it is currently a topic of discussion on Twitter. I have a bit of an unpopular opinion when it comes to AAVE, and I hope you guys will sit with me and have a little chat about it. So to start, I guess I should explain that I feel like, as a Black person, I'm a little more distant from AAVE as your typical Black person. I've grown up in a majority white community, and while I do have Black connection to my family, and also every summer I would go down to Florida to see my grandma, other extended family, and generally be in a more Black populated area, for the majority of the year outside of summer vacation, I have been in the majority white space, which has led to me speaking in a way that isn't entirely cohesive with AAVE. Given the slight distance that I have from the way of speaking, I think my opinions on the topic are just a little bit different. First, I would like to discuss the ways in which case I agree with the Twitter topic conversation on AAVE, and there are two main ones. One is that I agree that when it comes to using AAVE or blackcent in a way of mocking Black people as a whole, that is not acceptable. I find that speaking in that way sort of parallels blackface and other forms of Black imitation like blackfishing that we have been judgmental of forever, but our voices have been able to be more amplified in recent years because of social media. So when it comes to things like blackface, blackfishing, and using AAVE to mock Black people, all of these are intended to mock Black people, and they are ways of pulling forth our mannerisms only to make fun of them. Obviously, that's what mocking is. Why am I explaining what mocking is? Like this is third grade and you wouldn't know? It helps in this instance to really think of AAVE as the V, vernacular. It's not just a word or a phrase or two. It's an entire way of speaking, a certain draw of the words, a certain tone, a certain pitch of voice. You all know what I'm talking about when I say AAVE. One of the animation characters I can think of who speaks with a blackcent, although he is clearly Black, is Oscar Proud from the Proud family. His way of talking is not a way that you would expect a white man to talk, and that's just because of the community that he grew up in. He most likely grew up in a majority Black community, or at least had a lot of Black friends when he was young, to where when he was learning how to speak, how to socialize, how to engage with people, he picked up certain slangs, certain words, and a certain way of forming his sentences that led to him speaking the way that he does. Forming your sentences in different ways, different tones, etc. is nothing new, and it's nothing just Black people do. For example, if you look at the past, if you look at an old black and white movie, or if you look at a speakeasy, there was a way of talking back then that isn't really used anymore right now. They spoke more smoothly, I guess you could say. They had more flow, melody, and rhythm to their words. It's interesting. So that is one of the ways that the people that you're around, the media you absorb, the kind of speech that you hear around you, influences how you yourself speak. So when it comes to picking up blackcent as the entire vernacular, white people aren't likely to actually have that be just the way they are, because more likely growing up they were surrounded by white people, and so they didn't really have access to that way of speaking, and it's not really something that they picked up until they were older. And for a lot of people, it's picked up simply to mock people. For example, Shane Dawson and his mockery of Black people in his older blackface videos. I think his character was named Shanae. You know what I'm talking about. There was a certain way that he made that character speak that was nothing like how he spoke, that was used only to mock Black people. That is an incorrect and inappropriate, and I would say racist usage of AAVE. My second point when it comes to taking AAVE in inappropriate manners means to take phrases or sayings or even a way of speaking, anything like aforementioned, from a group of Black people and use it in another group. The reason why this is unacceptable is similar to the reasons why things like blackfishing are unacceptable. because you are taking something that is from a black space, and that if it was on a black person would be criticized, critiqued, they would be looked down on upon for having, and you're bringing it into your non-black space, and because you are not black, you are able to profit from that thing. You are able, I should put my hands up here so you see them, and I'm not just jittering. You are able to profit from that thing. You are able to see social, financial, career success from that thing, and you are able to transform that thing from something that is considered unprofessional, tacky, ghetto, ratchet, etc. into something cute and quirky. A good example of this is big lips. Nowadays it's very common for people to get lip fillers to try and get their lips to be bigger, whereas if we look at maybe 20, not even 20, honestly, maybe more like 10, 15 years ago, having big lips was synonymous with being black and nothing else. And when it was only synonymous with being black, and when celebrities weren't obsessed with getting lip filler, having big lips was looked at as ratchet, ghetto, and ugly. Are you seeing the parallels? Another clear example is a dreadlock hairstyle. When dreadlocks, even still to this day, are worn on black people, they are seen as unprofessional, unkempt, unclean, ugly, and generally undesirable. But when white people wear dreadlocks, it's trendy, it's cool, it's cute, it's unique, it's a fun style, it's individualism. Do you see how there's different adjectives being used for different groups, even though they're doing the same thing? This is why things like blackfishing are not acceptable, and this is why the stealing of AAVE that is used in black spaces into non-black spaces is also unacceptable. A good example of this is bombaclat. Bombaclat is actually a Jamaican word, and it is a curse word in Jamaica. Now, there is a common saying in America, and it goes, speak English. I don't think any of you are new to that. Whenever someone is speaking the language of their home country, they are told by racist people on the streets to speak English. So when black people walk around speaking Creole or speaking in Jamaican terms, such as bombaclat, we're told to speak English. We're told to get out of town. We're told to go back to where we come from. We are met with nothing but aggression. But when Twitter took bombaclat and turned it into a meme, now all of a sudden everybody says it. They don't even know what it means. It's a curse word in Jamaican, but it's used on Twitter as what are your thoughts, even though that's not what it means at all. The whole meaning of the word has been flipped around. The whole context of the word has been flipped around. Whereas if black people were still to say this word in their everyday language, they would be told to speak English or go home or stop being so ghetto and ratchet and loud and ugly. But when white people do it, it's just a fun Twitter meme and a silly little question that they can ask each other. That is another example of AAVE not being acceptable for non-black people to use, in my opinion. This is where my opinion starts to waver from what I've just said and from the general popular consensus that we've come to. So this is the part that I really need to get into discussing. AAVE, as it is used from celebrities. So, let's get into it. I don't think that this raises any of the same issues that the previous two raise, because one of the issues from the previous two is that when black people do these things, they are looked down upon. I would argue that when celebrities use the terms that they come up with that are considered AAVE and considered to be stolen, they're not ever made fun of or looked down upon for saying those things. As a matter of fact, the only reason other people start to say it is because they like it. It's because they find it funny. It's because they find it entertaining. It's because they're upholding the celebrity who said it. It's a form of standing, if you ask me. By the way, just so you can have some things in your head as I continue to talk about this, some examples of AAVE phrases stolen from black celebrities include YOLO, coined by Drake, or child. Anyway, so coined by, I believe, Megan Thee Stallion. The next thing that was a common issue between the last two is that people steal these phrases specifically for the purpose of mocking black people. But I don't think on Twitter that these people, these celebrities, who come up with these phrases are being mocked. I believe that they're actually having their fans laugh with them instead of laugh at them. Child so is usually not used in a way to mock black people. It's not like you will see a black person say something that is, synonymous with blackness or relevant to us. Like they'll say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, and then all the comments are child so as a way of making fun of them, as a way of mocking them, as a way of discrediting what they're saying. Most people on Twitter, on Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, most people who are using phrases like that aren't doing that. They're not mocking the people who came up with these things. They are taking them, yes, but they're using them in a comedic way, in an I'm in on the joke with you way, in a communal kind of way. And I don't think building a community is a bad thing. Another issue is the professionalism of these things. A black person wears dreads and it's unprofessional. A white person does it and it's quirky and unique. I don't think that a lot of the celebrity phrases that are taken are professional in any sense. I don't think a black person or a white person saying YOLO in the middle of an interview is going to be professional either way. And finally, though this isn't an issue that came up with the previous two, it can easily come up with things like the renegade dance, whereas a lot of times black people will do something, white people will steal it, and then they will profit off of the thing that the black person did, while the black person doesn't get any profit from their own creation. Look at the music of Elvis Presley for a good example. Typically with these phrases, not only are black people not being stolen from monetarily, but usually no monetary gain comes of it. I would say that a good way to think about this would be, I'm going to just use Unchild Anyway So because we've been using that this whole time. If Megan decided that she wanted to make Unchild Anyway So t-shirts, then that is her way of profiting off of her own saying. And arguably, the only way that she is able to successfully sell those shirts and make money off of them is because people have been using the saying all over the internet and spreading it around and copying what she said. I would like to say I don't see many people stealing those ideas. Of course there are people doing that. Of course there are Unchild Anyway So shirts out there that are made that Megan doesn't make any money off of. But I believe that that happens with any industry at any time. There's always going to be someone gaming the system. I don't think it's something that has happened commonly. I don't think it's something that is happening commonly. And I don't think it's something that is getting swept under the rug. Like, for example, luckily, with Hot Girl Summer, we were able to really popularize Megan's song before that saying got stolen from her, and another non-black person was given credit for coming up with that. With Unchild Anyway So, typically when people say that, they will also link the video of Megan originally saying that. Again, I'm sorry if this wasn't Megan. This could have been someone else and I just wronged this whole video. But usually they link the video of the person who said that saying it. So you know this isn't coming from the white person's mouth. This is a phrase that they've taken from someone else. So credit is typically being given where credit is due. And profits are typically not being stolen when it comes in the way of these phrases being taken from black celebrities. My final point with this is that it's not just black celebrities who get their phrases taken. For example, Rise and Shine from Kylie Jenner. She's not black, and yet for a good hot second, the internet was snatching up her phrase and making memes and jokes with it. There is the white guy who was blinking excessively, and a gif of him blinking like that ended up sweeping across the internet, even though he's not black. I would say it's not just black people getting taken from, it's anyone as a celebrity status or anyone who is a big enough influencer that multiple people would know their stance. The next form of using AAVE, I am more on the fence about, and I would really love it if you guys could go down into the comment section below and have a bit of a discussion with me about how we feel about this. As I said in the beginning of the video, I feel I am a little bit more distanced from your typical AAVE as you would think of it because of the communities that I grew up in. So while I know most of these phrases, sometimes I feel just a tiny bit out of the loop. So the topic that I wanted to talk about was AAVE being used in very popularized ways. Still non-mocking and still not stealing any, but I don't know. Okay, it's AAVE being taken from a group. So I don't really know how you could give profits to an entire group of people. So we're still not stealing any individual's profits or anybody's creative endeavors, anybody's intellectual copyright. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. We are still not mocking black people. As a matter of fact, I would say that this is more of a way of welcoming black people into the conversation, sort of, a way of saying, hey, no, that's not ghetto, that's not ratchet, that's just the way that they talk, and I think it's cool, I think it's funny, maybe we can all start to talk that way too, and black people can actually be welcomed into the conversation. And it's not anything that is used against us at any point. I would use words like cha or chile or sis as examples of some words like this that we as a Black community coined, that we as a community have been using for a long time, and that has started to seep into other communities. I don't know if I necessarily consider that all that big of a bad and offensive thing. It seems to me like just language evolving and communities intermingling. And like I said earlier, I don't really see a problem with growing a social community and creating a more positive space for everybody. On one hand, phrases like this can start with theft or mockery. It can start in a bad place. But if it ends up changing and evolving into a simple, new way of group speaking, is that necessarily bad? I like that we're having this discussion and that it's finally being cleared up on a large scale, that no, this is not internet lingo, no, this is not gay lingo, this is AAVE. These are Black people's terms. These are things that we have been saying for generations upon generations. But even so, is that all that bad of a thing for us to share? I don't know if I see an issue with everyone collaborating on that. So I wanted to keep this video a little bit shorter than my typical sit down and talk video. Like I said, I am uploading a video every single day for the first 30 days in the month of August. So I have a lot of videos to make. So this one I wanted to keep short and concise so that you guys could watch it, get all of my points, really understand things quickly, and communicate with me down below. I would really love to know some more opinions on this. Black, non-Black, anything. Just specify in your comment if you are non-Black so that we know where you're coming from in the conversation. And let's discuss this. Is stealing AAVE, is stealing African vernacular in general, but also just our specific terms like child, cis, and so on and so forth, is it bad? Is it good? Is it racist? Is it not? Is it something we should allow people to do? Is it something that we should try and dissuade people from doing? Why? Why not? Let's chat. But now I'm going to move over, just like I always do, so you can click on some of my legendary links. Linked over there is the best video for you, a little circular picture of my face that you can click to subscribe and help my channel out as we discussed, and my most recent upload, which, if you're watching this anywhere past the day that I uploaded, will be a different video than this because I'm uploading every single day. So why don't you press that bell so you can be notified when I upload tomorrow? Yes! Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do all that. You see, AAVE is something that you just slip into, and is it something I just slip into because I'm Black, or is it something that anyone can just slip into because it is so commonly used at this point? Please let me know some thoughts down below. I would love to continue the discussion on this, like, seriously. Anyways, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my links, and I'll see you next time. Until then, toodaloo! That was creepy. Yeah, just click. Just go. That was creepy. I can't do this. Okay, bye.